Hello, everyone, and welcome to the answers to the feedback challenge for writing IELTS Task 2, explanation sentences 2. So, your task was to write an explanation sentence for the first main body paragraph of the following question, which was, and the question we had was, many people feel media coverage is becoming increasingly biased today. Well, looking at the first part of why is this? And one of the reasons why a lot of individuals think that media coverage is becoming more and more biased nowadays is it is controlled by powerful people. So this is our main idea here, is that it is controlled by powerful people, and we need to explain the media being controlled by powerful people. So lots of responses to this challenge. Thank you everyone who contributed. So let's have a look at our first one. This is to say, this is a good way to start. The influential people have a profound influence on what news should be shown or concealed for various purposes so that it benefits them. Okay. Usually they would want to portray a person, place, or an organization positively, keeping the negative aspects hidden. So here, this is a little bit vague. They want to portray a person, place, or organization. Which person, which place, which organization. So maybe portray a person, place, or organization that is connected to them positively. So just being a little bit more precise here. Apart from that, the language used here was really good, so well done to this person. I think this is a fairly good explanation. Let's move on to our next one. So here, be very careful of starting sentences with since, because this has started what we call a fragment. So since these journalists have money and power to influence the content of stories on the media, which takes journalists' freedom away to say they're part of the story and only get forecasts. So basically all of this is a dependent clause. If you start a sentence with since or because, you need to follow it with an independent clause. But there's no independent clause here. We've just got one large dependent clause. If you write in this way and you write in fragments, for grammar, you're not going to get over a band 5. So it's incredibly important not to write what we call fragments. If you have a dependent clause, it always has to have an independent clause connected to it in some way. So rather than taking this risk with since, we could say, this is because these individuals have money and power to influence the content. Normally we talk about content as singular. So we say the content and stories on the media, which takes journalists' freedom away to say they're part of the story. So here, this expression is a little bit awkward. We could maybe say which stops from the truth. And only stories get forecasts, so broadcast, I think is what we mean here. Only stories get only stories. The only stories which get broadcasts are these influential people. Stories which these influential people believe are beneficial for them. Okay, so this person's issue here is sentence structure, and especially how to use relative clauses. So for whoever this is, make sure you go away and study relative clauses because it's getting you in a lot of trouble. The ideas in here are really good. It's just the way that you're expressing them is not clear because of the grammatical structures you're using. Okay, moving on to our next. This is to say the majority of media companies are owned by powerful people, good, and they dictate what information to write in newspapers and what information to telecast, we say on TV channels, not in, on TV channels, which is focusing. So we're stating a fact here, so we're going to use present simple, so which focuses on the positives, spelling mistake, of a particular person or a group or a political party, and ignores, again, we're using present simple to state facts, the negatives. As a result, people think that media coverage is biased. Okay. So again, once we've restructured the verb tenses, I think this is quite clear, so well done. Our next one. So that is to say, if a media source covers a negative aspect of a well-known celebrity or a politician, which is in fact true, the media employer, so this is the media employer is not an expression here. The media employer employees is put under So here, I think what we're talking about, so editors, journalists. There was more than one of them, so they are put under pressure. You can't be put under threats. So you say maybe such threats made against them to not showcase it to the public. No need for these commas. After a full stop or comma, we need space. For this reason, negative news related to influential people is hidden and concealed mostly. So the mostly would come here. Negative news is mostly word order issues here. Okay, again, good explanation, just vocabulary and grammar, reducing clarity a bit. Moving on here. So in other words, these people own or control the news content that is published on their channels to follow their opinion. Good. No space before a full stop or comma. And the workers in these outlets cannot write any piece of news that is not acceptable to them because their jobs, because they've got more than one worker, more than one job, their jobs will be at risk. Excellent. I think this is really clear. Oh, well written. Well done to this person. This is because powerful people, who usually have lots of money, influence and control journalists to report information which favors them and their parties in the media. So here, political, you want to be a bit more clear here, which favors them and the political parties in the media, such as television and newspapers. So here we want to, such as on television and newspapers. As a result, the coverage information. So here we would say the information covered this is the more natural way that this would be written. The information covered in the media is biased and unreliable. Okay, good job. Moving on. This is to say that a larger number of individuals, so I'm not sure where we've got this comparative, so we just say this is to say that a large number of individuals distrust the media as they presume that influential people are deploying the media to push their own interests and criticize others without accurate evidence to do so. It would be the way to express this. Yeah, nice idea. Just some vocabulary issues. That is to say, if there is any fact published or broadcast against the interest of any influential people. So here, when we talk about facts in general, rather than putting any to try and generalize it, if we make fact plural. So if there are facts published or broadcast against the interests, we're talking about the interests in general, so it should be plural, of of influential people. So if there are facts or official broadcasts against the interests of influential people controlling them. So we're going to define who these influential people are. So we can use relative pronoun. So interests of influential people who control. And then when we talk about media, we use a definite article. If there are facts published or broadcast against the interests of influential people who control the media, comma after our conditional clause, then they don't want such stories to come. We're saying come to the public and make who. So in the subject here, they make all the efforts to pressure. So simply, we're just going to say they pressurize. This is not necessary for this language. And they don't want such stories to come to the public, and they pressurize the media. We always refer to the media with definite article. They pressurize the media to prove it wrong by justifying the other side. Okay, so again, the ideas are good, but vocabulary and grammar are letting you down. So that is to say that the most powerful elites dominate the media for their personal interests. I think dominate is a little bit, sorry, control would be better here. That's to say that the most powerful elites control the media for their personal interests, and they use it to spread particular messages to shape world events. Excellent. Again, pretty concise. And then coming on to our last, this is because some TV programs only show what powerful people want to be shown by censoring journalists and the news. Excellent. Again, really accurate, well written. So overall, I thought the ideas were very good. So you guys have definitely got the idea of the explanation part, but just taking a few too many risks with the vocabulary and grammar. If you find this a difficult topic to talk about, the media, this is an area that you should be having a look at to try and work on expanding your vocabulary on this, trying to find maybe some TED Talks that talk about the media, having a look at any articles you can find online, maybe talking about media bias. I'm sure there's lots and lots of articles these days talking about fake news and media bias. So these would be good areas for you to work on improving your vocabulary. I hope you guys found that helpful. Thank you very much to everyone who submitted an explanation sentence to this. Good to see so many people replying to these videos. If I covered one of your sentences, please just hit the like button. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss any future content. And if you've got questions about anything, you can leave them in the comments or come join our Facebook group. I'll have a link to the Facebook group in the comments or in the information section of this video as well. Good luck to you all in your studies, and I hope you're having a really nice week.